Hi everybody, I thought I would just give a tour slash update to our property, our food forest that we've been working on for the last year and a half or so. For those unfamiliar, this whole field was all grass when we moved in. It was surrounded by horse fencing. The previous owner had horses and it's not really our thing, so we took down all the horse fence, and then we paid a professional, Lisa Donovan from Ladiva Artistry, to design us what we're calling a food forest. She came up with an amazing plan, and we've been implementing it ever since. It was December 2019, so here we are. Step one, we kind of laid out all these shapes. We cut them all out with a sod cutter, bought a tractor, which is by far one of the greatest things that we've bought in a long time, removed all the sod, and then over the next 9 to 12 months we covered every single shape with cardboard, and then mulched it with mulch that we got from tree trimmers, and then we've been just filling in all of the trees on the plan ever since, and we've gotten a good ways, but we've got a long ways to go. But I thought I would give an update, or a progress video, I guess. So here at the entrance we've got 2 Hong Kong orchids which have been blooming beautifully. Their blooms are about over, but they were going just crazy for the past couple months. Here in the middle we've got a few pomegranates. One pomegranate not doing so good, but the one over there is doing really good. That's a cottonwood that we just planted. It's going to provide shade to bananas and some other more sensitive trees that are kind of going to be over here that need a little bit of afternoon sun protection. So we've got that there. This is a eucalyptus over here. Here we've got a rainbow eucalyptus. We've got 4 different varieties of mulberry. We've got Shangri-La, Persian, Black Beauty, and Pakistan mulberry. But that's an Indian green jujube over there, which is just killing it. It's really exploding. We've got several pygmy date palms, some doing a lot better than others that we won't dwell on. It's been a learning experience for us, for sure. This is a large eucalyptus that we have, which, funny story, for a while we thought it was a rainbow eucalyptus, and then we learned it was not, but it's still a champ. I mean, it's just exploded in size. And again, these mulberries and the eucalyptus are going to be doing the job of shading trees that we're going to put here on the east side of them, which is going to be mangoes and peanut butter fruit, and I don't even remember what else. I should have looked at the plan to refresh my memory before I started, but a lot of more subtropical things that need just some shade protection in Phoenix, so these trees will kind of help us do that job down the road. This is a tamarind tree here. These are sweet almond bushes that we just planted. Vision is, they smell really good. Actually, I can smell them now, and once they get big they'll be extremely fragrant, and they'll just be kind of a natural little hangout. Our cats can hang out in there. There's Sarah, the tripod cat, coming to help me with the tour. For those unfamiliar with our property, we are completely fenced in with cat-proof fencing around the entire thing, so they can be out here safely without being able to get out on the road, and no predators come in here to get them. And they love it out here. So anyway, here we've got 12 different types of citrus. We've got several varieties of grapefruit. We've got variegated pink lemon, which I'm super excited about. It is a legitimate pink lemon. We've got a bootwall sweet lemon, which we're also pretty stoked about. We tried it when we were at the citrus nursery, and it was seriously like eating an orange, only it was a lemon. It was so sweet, like you could literally just eat it like a regular fruit. So we're pretty excited about that. We got kumquat, blood orange, Cara orange, navel orange, sweet orange, what do you call them, tangerines. So we've got all of that. And then over here we've got moringas, which we planted them in December of 2019, which was not a great time to plant them because they are cold sensitive when they're small, but we were excited and truly didn't know better. So we planted them and we protected them from the cold as best we could, or as best we knew at the time. And these two here froze to the ground completely, and we chopped them down at their base. This one survived. These ones grew back from their base, and this is their growth in, what, that'd be a year and a half. This one, we kind of need to give it some stakes or trim it back. But its little, like its original trunk is right there. All of this is new. And then it grows all these beans, which I'm about to come pick them once I get done with this video, but when they're really small like this, you can pick them and you can saute them and cook them just like green beans, and they've got kind of like a peppery kind of spice to them, and they're really good. And you can also eat the leaves like as salad greens in your salad, or you can put them in smoothies, or like dry, people like dry them and make them into a powder and kind of add them as a supplement. They're supposed to be like a superfood. I definitely wouldn't recommend. I made a smoothie with like a large quantity of these leaves, and I would not recommend that. It was a little bit too Moringa spicy. That's a neem tree over there that we just planted. This is a row of Barbados cherries it's going to be kind of like a hedge once they grow up. Oh, you know what? Let me see if I might have a cherry over here. I think I see one. Oh yeah, that's a good one. So they're just starting to produce a few fruits now. But this one's a little bit wonky looking, but they're just kind of getting started. We cold protected them last year, but clearly didn't do a good enough job because a lot of them didn't make it. These smaller ones are replacements. But the ones that have been here for 2 years now are starting to produce a few little fruits, and they taste really good. They're super sweet. Hey, Sarah. And then if we come over this way, we've got, oh yeah, here's our pink lemon. I'm like super stoked about it. We weren't gonna let the trees grow any fruit for the first 2 years, except for ones that we really can't do anything about, like the mulberries just go hog wild with the fruits. And it's not quite the same as like a citrus growing fruit, it's kind of like just pushing them out. But anyway, for the citrus would have grown like hundreds of fruit if we had let it, but we kind of wanted all the trees to focus on growing before they started producing fruit. So anyway, this year I convinced my husband Trevor to let the trees grow approximately 6 fruits each. So that's what they're doing now. I might have to come pick a couple of these off, but I'm super excited that the fruits are even like variegated looking. So those are our pink lemons. And then over here, this is one of our pygmy date palms. This is a fig that we just planted. This is our other Indian green jujube. And you can see it's covered in all these little flowers. I mean, it's just absolutely exploded from what it was before. That's another fig right there. These are Asian pears here. We're still missing one that we haven't been able to find yet. We might just replace it with a different variety, but these guys are doing really good. This is our pecan. This is our only pecan out of 3 or 4 that we've tried growing that has survived, so we're super excited about it. We haven't had very much luck with the pecans. These are all bamboo that we planted as tiny little, like 1 gallon 2 foot tall sticks in the ground. March of 2020. It was like right as the pandemic was starting. We planted them and they were super tiny and they just exploded. They love water, so if you give them water, they will be happy. And we occasionally give them nitrogen, I guess. Yeah, whatever you would give grass. Like they're a giant grass, so you just kind of fertilize them like you would grass, and they love it. This is our other mulberry, which is a dwarf ever-bearing mulberry, and it's actually still producing fruit, though I think the birds are getting after it. Oh yeah, here's a couple small ones here. It grows like very prolific but very small fruits. The first year they were not very good, but this year they were really tasty, and we just came out here and sat under the tree and just picked off so many and tried not to eat them all before we got back to the house, but it's taller than me now. This is our other fig here. We planted couple figs last year, and they had big, tall trunks, and they all died over the winter. And figs aren't supposed to be cold sensitive, so I don't know exactly what happened, but it came back from its roots, and this is all grown. This is all new growth from the roots since this spring. This is an apricot tree. We got a couple more that we need to fill in here still, and we're also going to have an all-in-one almond tree that we still need to plant. This is a peach tree. This is the Florida Prince peach. And then over here we've got two, let me think here, Snow Queen peaches, I think there's Snow Queen peaches, those two. And then this is a Java plum here in the middle. And then over here we've got some dwarf, what are they, Babcock peaches that we bought from Costco a couple months ago, so we're pretty excited about those. This is a carob tree here in the middle. These are two other moringas that we grew from seed that we got seeds from the lady Lisa who designed our yard, and so we just planted the seeds inside in the fall, I guess, like late fall, and now here they are. They've just absolutely exploded since we put them in the ground, so we're excited for them to kind of look like those other guys back there. And yeah, so this is our really happy pomegranate right here. I'm letting it grow a few fruits too, though. I mean, it would just be covered in them if I let it, but it's got several good sized fruits now. That's a replacement that we just had to plant. And then this is another neem that we just planted. And then these are apples, and then this is a plum. That's a plum that did not make it. We've been learning our lesson about when we should be planting, and planting in the summer is not really the best idea. So that's our plum, and then yeah, apples there that all have low enough chill hours that they can produce in Phoenix. Now I'll move on to our gardens. So these are a few garden beds that we recently built. We used to have a porch here that had to be demolished due to some water damage that happened to it. And so we said, well, we don't need that porch. This is actually a door to our bathroom. And so we decided to build these garden beds in their place. And we haven't filled them in quite yet, as you can kind of tell. My vision is for it to be like an herb garden. We can kind of come out here and pick herbs to have with dinner or whatever. This is lemon basil and purple basil. And then this is a parsley that's just gone to seed. And I'm kind of letting it because I just kind of want this to be a free form kind of herb garden long term. We've got another basil here. We've got thyme, we've got oregano, we've got this was dill that got murdered by aphids tragically, but I'll replant that. And then this is catnip here. We've kind of got it protected so the cats can't just lay on top of it and kill it, but now at least it's growing out from the mesh, so they can come out and pick off that stuff and not kill the plant, at least until it gets big. And then we haven't filled this part in yet. We haven't got it painted either, but you know, one thing at a time. This is our front yard here. For anyone unfamiliar with the Southwest, we are on flood irrigation, which means that we get river water, where our property has rights to this river water that we get, and it comes and floods this field and this field between, like, it's like every 6 weeks in the winter down to every 2 weeks in the summer for us that it floods out. And so that's our main water source. The trees right now are getting supplementally watered by other water because they're still young, but long term they'll survive solely on irrigation water. But this area here was also grass, and it was sprinkler watered, like city water that we had to pay a premium for to water more grass. And I'm like, why do we need more grass? So we ripped it out, tilled it all up. We bought a bunch of compost from the Arizona worm farm and put it down here in rows, and filled in the other areas with mulch, the tree mulch that we got. We covered it with landscape fabric, but it was not well thought out in any respect because this was not a UV resistant product. It's not the right product, but you live and you learn. So we haven't filled it in yet, obviously, kind of fully yet. This was all lettuce and cauliflower, if you saw any of my pictures of cauliflower. And this is Brussels sprouts. This is all lettuce going to seed right here. So this area is pretty much done for the season. But over here we've got onions. Oops. This is okra in between the grass here. The okra is kind of taken off, which is nice. These are yard-long beans that desperately need a trellis. Haven't built them that yet. And then we've got squash here that are all doing really, really good. This is the melons over here, except for we've got one squash that ended up here and one melon that ended up over there. They kind of got mixed up. We had started them all from seed inside, under grow lights, and then transplanted them out here in the spring, and they just kind of the tags got kind of mixed up. So the melons are really starting to take off. These are all potatoes that are starting to look sad now that it's the summertime, and the same here with the snow peas. They were all doing really good, but it's about the end of their season. It's a little bit too hot for them, but the squash are loving it, that's for sure. So move on to the next area. Oh yeah, and this is the pergola that we just got built. We've got grapes that are going to be over here on the side. They'll kind of grow up here and help shade this and then provide grapes. And then we've just got some jasmine, and I'm forgetting what these other ones are. This is we got a few bougainvilleas here, so they can kind of grow up and just kind of encase this whole thing in green, which we're pretty excited about. And then this is our other garden bed, which is tomatoes and peppers. These are a couple of random tomatoes that we added at the last minute because some of our peppers didn't make it. These are like, well, I thought they were going to be like mini bell peppers, like those ones you buy in the store, but they're getting pretty big. This one's finally starting to turn color, so I'm excited to try those. We haven't tried them yet, but they're supposed to be like sweet peppers that you can just kind of eat as a snack. And then these are all tomatoes here. We've got like these sunburst tomatoes, which none of them have gotten fully ripe yet, so we haven't got to try them, but they're kind of like a multicolored tomato. That one there is pretty close to being ready. And we've got some Romas and some big slicer tomatoes, and then cherry tomatoes, grape tomatoes. So I've been having fun coming out here and picking those to eat as a snack during the day. And then these are purple bell peppers. These are poblanos. The poblanos are really starting to produce a lot. And then red bell peppers. This one's actually finally starting to turn red. It took forever. I kind of know now why colored bell peppers are so much more expensive in the grocery store than green bell peppers, because they just take so much longer to be ready. So that one's finally getting ready. And then these are our green chilies down here. So anyway, we're pretty excited for that. Just a few other random things. This is a Royal Empress that we planted in January, I guess. One of our really beloved cats sadly passed away, and so we buried him here, and we planted this tree on top of him. And this is all new growth from this spring. The original stick is this one, and it just died, and then this new one's like, I'm the trunk now. So, and these leaves, I mean, you can, like, they're so massive. So we're really excited about this. This is supposed to be the fastest growing tree in the world. I think Trevor said it was like 15 feet in the first year. I mean, it's already at like 4, and and that's like in what, 4 months? Something like that. So it's doing pretty good. These are citrus that we planted. Hey, John! That we planted like soon after we moved in. So they've been here for like 3 years now. Anyway, we've got Meyer lemon, Mexican lime, a sweet orange, and a tangerine, which we planted the tangerine, and we didn't know at the time that for those type tangelos and tangerines, anything that's like my understanding, and hopefully I'm not butchering this, is that if it's like a tea citrus like that, they need another one to cross it, right? Like a tea is crossed. They need another one to cross-pollinate, otherwise they won't fruit. The other citrus only need themselves, but these guys need a cross-pollinator. So he doesn't have a cross-pollinator. Now we've got one, in the far end over there, and I don't know if it'll end up being close enough where it'll pollinate this guy. It wasn't this year. It wasn't close enough this year, but maybe once they kind of all get bigger, it'll produce fruit. We'll find out. But I think we'll have plenty of citrus without that, so I'm not too worried about it. But anyway, that's our tour for May of 2021. Hopefully we keep making good progress. Bye everybody.